The world held its breath as Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan took the stage at the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Summit. His words echoing across cameras and continents. "Donald Trump is the voice of peace." The sentence struck like thunder. A Muslim leader hailing a former U.S. president long known for controversy, the phrase went viral within minutes, spreading from Islamabad to Washington, from Doha to London, reshaping headlines and global narratives. The world had witnessed a historic turn, not just in politics, but in human history. Just days before, Gaza had been engulfed in relentless war, cities reduced to ashes and families torn apart. Diplomacy had failed, the United Nations was paralyzed, and the world's most powerful nations seemed unable to stop the bleeding. Then, almost out of nowhere, came Donald J. Trump, returning to the global stage with what would be called the Trump Peace Initiative 2025. Through private talks with Egypt, Qatar, and Jordan, Trump crafted a 20-point ceasefire blueprint that forced both sides, Israel and Hamas, into an unprecedented truce. Within 72 hours, the guns went silent, humanitarian corridors opened, and the sound of explosions gave way to prayers of relief. For many, it felt impossible. For others, it felt divine. And in that moment, as the world searched for the right words to describe what had just happened, Shehbaz Sharif stepped forward, giving history its headline, "Trump is the voice of peace." In that single declaration, Sharif rewrote political gravity. For years, the Muslim world had viewed Trump with skepticism, yet now the same leader was being celebrated as a global peacemaker. The symbolism was staggering. Pakistan, a major Muslim nation, publicly honoring a figure once accused of Islamophobia. But Sharif's statement wasn't about the past. It was about courage, pragmatism, and results. He said, "Leadership is not about popularity. It's about impact. And today the world must recognize impact." His words lit up social media. Hashtags like el-Sheikh Voice of Peace, Trump Ceasefire, and historic turn dominated global trends. Analysts, journalists, and diplomats flooded talk shows debating the geopolitical shockwave. Could Trump, the man who once built walls, now be remembered as the one who built bridges? Sharif seemed to think so. During his speech, he even hinted at formally nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize 2025, saying that history must honor those who turn pain into peace. Pakistani television broadcasted his remarks live, showing citizens cheering in the streets, waving both Pakistani and American flags, a sight no one could have imagined just a few years ago. Behind the dramatic headlines lay a deeper reality. The Trump ceasefire deal wasn't a publicity stunt. It was the product of months of hidden diplomacy. U.S. intelligence sources confirmed that Trump had maintained direct lines with Egyptian and Qatari officials, mediating between warring factions long before the violence peaked. When all else failed, even after multiple UN sessions collapsed, Trump's plan offered something new, a phased roadmap for peace built on accountability, economic aid, and local governance in Gaza. The deal's immediate success restored calm not just in Gaza, but also helped ease tensions across South Asia, where border talks between India and Pakistan quietly resumed in its wake. The ceasefire, it seemed, had triggered a domino effect of diplomacy. As Sharif said, peace is contagious. Once it begins, it spreads. And in that spreading, the world found a glimpse of something it had nearly forgotten: hope. The global reaction was electric. In Cairo, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi praised Trump's courage to do what others could not. In Ankara, President Erdogan called it a testament to pragmatic leadership. Even in Washington, current U.S. President Joe Biden acknowledged that every genuine effort toward peace deserves recognition, while former President Bill Clinton described it as a major milestone for stability in the Middle East. For once, the political world was speaking the same language: peace. Meanwhile, humanitarian organizations rushed to deliver aid into Gaza's open corridors, reporting their first uninterrupted convoys in months. The international markets reacted positively, with oil prices stabilizing and global investors citing the Trump effect for renewed confidence in the region. What once seemed like a chaotic chapter had suddenly turned into a moment of order, a rare alignment of diplomacy, faith, and fate. In Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif's move was hailed as bold diplomacy. Many analysts said Sharif had successfully repositioned Pakistan as a bridge between East and West, proving that his government could play a constructive role in world affairs rather than merely reacting to them. His words weren't just a salute to Trump. They were a statement that Pakistan was ready to rejoin the global peace dialogue. Speaking to the summit audience, Sharif declared, "This is not about nations or ideologies. It is about humanity. We must choose peace, no matter who leads it." His statement resonated across developing nations struggling with their own conflicts, inspiring a wave of commentary about the return of moral leadership in global politics. For the first time in years, Pakistan's foreign policy was being praised by Western and Arab outlets alike. The world saw Shehbaz Sharif not just as a national leader, but as a statesman willing to stand on the side of peace, even if it meant surprising the world. Yet not everyone was convinced. Critics argued that praising Trump was a strategic move designed to gain leverage in future U.S.-Pakistan relations. Opposition parties back home questioned whether Sharif's statements were genuine or merely political theater. But public sentiment told another story. Polls conducted days after the speech showed a dramatic rise in Sharif's approval rating, especially among younger Pakistanis who viewed the ceasefire as a turning point in global diplomacy. On international platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube, the clip of Sharif saying Trump is the voice of peace amassed millions of views. Political analysts noted that such symbolism could not be ignored. The image of a Muslim leader embracing peace with the West might reshape narratives for generations. As global commentary continued, Trump himself responded on Truth Social, thanking Shehbaz Sharif for his honest words and courageous leadership. He wrote, "Real leaders know that peace is strength. Together we can build a safer world." The post immediately drew attention, signaling that Trump was ready to expand his peace campaign beyond Gaza. Reports suggested that his team was already drafting follow-up proposals for Yemen and Sudan, aiming to transform the Trump peace initiative into a global framework. If successful, it could redefine his legacy entirely, from controversial politician to 21st century peacemaker. Shehbaz Sharif's recognition had not just honored Trump, it had reignited his global relevance. Meanwhile, at the summit, international media outlets captured every moment: Trump's handshake with Egyptian diplomats, Sharif's emotional applause, and the audience rising in a standing ovation. News anchors across CNN, BBC, and Al Jazeera labeled it the most unexpected alliance of the decade. The symbolism was undeniable. Nations once divided by rhetoric, now united by reason. As one commentator put it, this ceasefire did not just end a war, it ended an era of hopelessness. For ordinary people across Gaza, the effects were immediate. Children returned to schools, aid trucks entered without fear, and families once separated by checkpoints reunited for the first time in months. In mosques, churches, and synagogues alike, prayers of peace replaced the sounds of mourning. The ceasefire was more than a political event. It was a human victory. As the world reflects on this historic turn, one truth stands out. Peace often begins where politics ends. Sharif's words, simple yet profound, reminded humanity that reconciliation is possible even among the most divided. In calling Trump the voice of peace, he didn't just praise a man. He reignited a belief that diplomacy, when done with courage, can change destiny. For years, cynics claimed peace in the Middle East was a fantasy, but in 2025, it became fact. The Gaza ceasefire, now dubbed the Trump Truce, has entered history as the event that reset global diplomacy. And as leaders from around the world pledge to support reconstruction and humanitarian aid, one can feel a cautious optimism rising. A sense that this time, maybe, peace will last. In the end, this isn't just about Trump or Shehbaz Sharif. It's about what they represent: two very different leaders finding common ground in humanity's oldest dream: peace. Whether Trump ever wins a Nobel Peace Prize or not, The world will remember that moment when the cameras flashed, and Sharif said the words that shook history. It proved that leadership isn't about the past you carry, but the future you create. The message is clear. Peace is possible, dialogue is power, and courage can come from the most unexpected places. As Shehbaz Sharif concluded his speech to thunderous applause, his voice carried a message that transcended borders. Peace is not a destination, it is a journey. And today, the journey begins. And somewhere between Washington and Islamabad, between faith and politics, that journey continues, lighting a new path for the world to follow.